we got an invitation from our friends at Kawasaki to come out and tour the facility a little bit ago. And our buddy Tyler, big shout out to Tyler. Tyler out there at Kawasaki gave us a machine to give away at our RedRok Rally. That's a huge, huge deal to us.
Not only a machine, a loaded machine.
A loaded, badass KRX to give away. Big hats off to Kawasaki and thank you, Tyler. Thank you for helping us. And we got to go out and see the facility. Jake and I have toured a lot of facilities in our lives. We've been in this industry a long time. It takes a little bit to impress us, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
And not only were we impressed out there, we actually found out how ignorant and dumb we were about things we didn't know about Kawasaki. Kawasaki is a huge company. The fact is, they started the consumer, the toy part of it, because nobody knew their name back in the day. Like 74, they started doing that out there. They build some crazy things in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Like world-changing things.
Yeah, world-changing crazy. And it's like, what was your train carts? Is that your favorite?
Oh, yeah. So in this facility, they have a whole division that builds rail cars like the subways you see in Chicago and New York.
Yeah.
And it was just incredible. These things weigh 200 tons, and they have devised a system that they are able to move these around the floor. Compare it to like an air hockey table, like a puck on an air hockey table.
Right.
One guy.
One little guy.
Not even a big guy.
No offense, little guy, but one little guy. You know?
They are able to move these around one person, one hand.
They have places in there where they can do hurricane and like tornado and like tsunami testing on them. Because God forbid, if you're in one of their train carts and something like that happens, you're not going to get your hair frizzy. Right. They're doing their due diligence. Like, it's amazing. There's enough wiring and plumbing in one of those cars to wire 4 Death Stars and 3 hospitals. No doubt. You know what I mean?
Easily.
Like crazy. The aerospace stuff they're involved in out there is just nuts.
Yeah.
Like, how big was that facility?
Facility was just a little over 2 million square feet, and I feel that we walked the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, our legs were really tired. It basically rivals the airport that's next to it in size.
Uh-huh.
Like, if you Google map it and look at it, they got to be pretty similar
Yeah.
right there. The place was huge, you know?
It was. And the other thing I wanted to mention that was cool is throughout all these lines, the integration of all the Kawasaki robotics.
Yeah. That was really, I mean, honestly, when you're talking about it, like, the stuff they're building to build their stuff, it was amazing. It was not at all what we thought it was going to be, you know? We have been really big fans of Kawasaki for a long time. And we also attribute a lot of people coming into this industry because of Kawasaki. Kawasaki's motto, not their motto, I should say, our motto.
Yes.
We think that Kawasaki has always overbuilt and underpowered machines. And what you get out of that is you get a lot of longevity out of them. And so the KRX is a staple of that. They're not a powerful machine, but they are a badass built machine, and they're very comfortable to ride. They built that thing based off of rock crawling, mountain riding, trail riding, so it fits such a big demographic.
They nailed it.
They nailed that car. We're huge KRX fans. But prior to that, the Terex, I will give them credit for bringing a lot of people into this industry because it's such an affordable machine. And when you think about what stuff costs, especially nowadays, Kawasaki has always been very high quality, and it's more budget friendly, in my opinion. And the Terex is like, when you get in a Terex, it doesn't have a lot of frills. Not a lot of suspension on it, not a lot of articulation. They're loud as hell. Sounds like a rod's going to come out at like 30, but they never die.
No.
Arguably one of the most reliable machines ever built.
Yeah.
You know?
And point in case, one of our good buddies runs a tour company down in Moab, and that is all they ran was Terexes. And you're talking 14, 16, 18,000 plus miles on these rigs.
Yeah.
And the maintenance he told us he was doing, minimal.
Yeah, getting beat on top of that. Reynolds getting beat. You know, it's like, but we feel like Kawasaki has always done a really good job in that area. The H2 is a little bit of a different spectrum. Now we're appealing to the Baja guys, the Dune guys. This is a very powerful car. We know it's a very well-built car. We've been combing over them. We knew we were going to buy a couple of these. We knew we were going to build a couple of these. Over the next, 6 months, we're going to go through the process. We're going to go down and run them stock, see how they wheel, see how they rally, see how they go. Yeah. And then we're going to start building them and going through the process. We'll certainly do a lot of videos, keep you informed in those. But to give the due diligence, that Kawi is just this place that in our minds, they've always super exceeded us with quality products.
Yep.
And so I don't think that the H2 is going to be any different in that world. In fact, as I would bet all the chips onto that side. But the question is can we turn them into rock crawlers? Can we turn them into good mountain rigs? Can we make that universal platform where we have big portal cars that will do everything? We're going to find out, but I'm pretty sure we can. It's just whatever process we're going to go through. But when we were in Kawasaki, the one thing that we really wanted to let you guys know, we have agreements with everybody. You can't give secrets out, but there are some things that Kawasaki does that we thought were really amazing. One thing that we do know is, and all the forums we're on and all the information we get and all the people we talk to, we don't see a lot of Kawasaki's out of the box that are coming from the factory with problems.
No,
it's like
pretty rare.
One of the things that is really bothering is when you buy a brand new machine and a week later it's got this problem, it's in for warranty work, and you're not enjoying the new toy that you bought. And we got to see kind of why that happens. Kawasaki takes 2, 3, 4, and 5 steps over every process to make sure it's done properly. It gets double or triple checked by humans and automation. It's really cool. The coating was another really cool thing.
Oh, the powder coating.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, so like they were doing inside and outside
Yeah.
of like a lot of their tubing, their frames, and all that kind of stuff. To be double coating everything to prolong corrosion,
Yeah.
so the machines even last longer, is super cool.
Well, when we asked him, why do you do that? Why do you have that expense? His response was, why would we not?
Yeah. It's kind of there's a lot of places that we know they could skimp. Didn't see that.
Yep.
At the end of every production line, there was a dyno machine.
Yeah.
And every car, it takes an hour to build a car, basically. And at the end of that car is on a dyno, and it gets pulls done in rear-wheel drive, three-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, backwards. They've got all these sensors and computers hooked up to make sure everything's within wheel speed, torque spec, everything's in the parameters it's supposed to be in before it even gets loaded to go out the door. And so for you guys out there, like to go into all that effort to make sure that when somebody purchases their new car, they're not having a problem, that's a big deal. Because I know that's a fear factor of ours. We've bought a lot of cars.
Yeah.
We've had cars with no antifreeze in them. We've had cars with no oil in them. We've had cars with loose shit in them. We've had cars with just a bunch of bolts on the floorboard when we picked them up. Kind of crazy,
Well, it was cool because you got the feeling, not just from the engineers, but the people on the line, that there was a sense of pride of how these things were going together.
Undoubtedly. And everybody we bumped into, everybody who was in that facility that took the time to come over and shake our hands and talk to us, they all have pride. Those guys go to work every day and they're building cool shit and they're doing a good job. You could sense it in that building. You could sense it with the people that we talk to. You could sense it in the cleanliness of it, the organization of it. This is not a job for these people. This is a career, and they take pride in that career. And it's like, it was just impressive to see. So at the end of this, Tyler, thank you very much for the invitation. Thanks for helping support our RedRok Rally. We are big fans of Kawasaki, as you know, and we honor the support, brother. That means a whole bunch to us. If you guys want to win that machine, it's going to be at the RedRok Rally. It's going to be at the Off-Road Expo, February 27th and 28th. We're going to have it on display. Young's Power Sports is our headline sponsor for this event. We're going to have some Young Power Sports stuff. We got a bunch of new stuff in it. We're going to put out some videos over the next few weeks of what we're doing to it, how we're building it. So big shout out to Kawasaki, and by God, if you want one, go buy one because they're badass.